Hey, what's going on? Kantis Simmons here. So, I wanted to talk about how to end one year and go into another year. Yeah, I want to show you 5 L's to help you close out one year and go into a next year. Now, I know that after every year, I spend some time, thinking about the current year and the things that I liked about the year and all that went on. And actually, I'm at a hotel here in Atlanta just doing a little staycation where I can reflect on the year as well as reflect on what I want to do for the next year. So I want to give you 5 things that I believe that if you do these things, it'll help you come out of this current year and go into the new year that's ahead of us. So I'm gonna have a seat here and break down these 5 things. So go ahead and grab a pen or a piece of paper, stop this video, and just take the time to begin to write down these things. All right, so let me give you 5 things to consider when coming out of the current year, going into the next year. And let me say this: it's a blessing to see a new year, right? I know we have New Year's resolutions and New Year and New Me. Like, I get it. I love all the themes and everything that go along with that. However, I want you to realize that every single day that you wake up is a blessing. Every single day that you wake up is a win. Because some people didn't make it to this new year, right? I had a dear friend of mine that didn't make it this year. And so I want to encourage you to, regardless of what happened this past year, to realize every single day that you wake up is a win. All right. So here are 5 things. All right. And they're all based off the letter L. Okay. So the first thing I want you to consider for this year are your losses or your lows. All right. Your lows. What were those moments in your life, maybe in your business, maybe in school as a parent, that was a low for you? Take the time to really think about what were those moments that was a low for you. And I think for me, I've talked about it a little bit. One of my dear friends, one of my best friends, committed suicide this past year, right? And I was actually traveling over to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, speaking over Saudi Arabia. And as I landed and I got to my hotel, I got a phone call from my brother. And my brother told me that my friend died. Later on, I found out it was suicide, right? And so I call it a low for me because I often wonder, what could I have said? What could I have done to be there for him at probably one of his lowest moments? But what is it for you? What happened in 2023 that was a low moment for you? Was it a death of a loved one? Was it maybe somebody in the household getting sick? Was it poor grades? Maybe it was a loss of income. Maybe it was sickness. I know I've had a few friends come down with, a sickness and disease this year. And that was a low moment. Maybe it was a loss of income. Regardless of what it is, I want you to document what was that low. And even you have to pause this video just to write out all the lows for this year. All right? So the first thing are your lows. The second thing are your likes, right? So we got lows and we have likes. What did you like about this past year, 2023? Now, one of the things that I absolutely liked this year was being able to not only speak on multiple stages, but to speak internationally 2 times in person and 1 time virtually, right? And the reason I like that the most is because here in America, I absolutely love America, but I also realize that the United States, the population, is only 4.7% of the rest of the world. So I like speaking internationally because I realize that the message that I can share here is great, but I can also share that great message in other parts of the world. So it was a light for me to be able to speak over in Qatar as well as Saudi Arabia. So that was a light for me. What was it for you? What were the things that you liked about the year? Was it a new relationship? Was it a promotion? Maybe you hit the honor roll. Maybe you closed a gig for your business. Regardless of what it is, I need you to spend some time writing down all of the likes out of 2023. So we have our lows and we have our likes. And here's the third thing. What lessons did you learn? Yeah, what lessons did you learn? Maybe there were some lessons that you learned from your lows, and maybe there were some lessons that you learned from your likes, right? Take some time to write down those lessons. Maybe, let's say if there was a death in the family, what lesson did you learn about that? Maybe there was some a promotion on your job. Like, what lesson did you learn from the promotion on your job? One of the things I liked about my 2023 is that I was able to successfully commit to 12 months of working out at the gym. Right, I have a fitness coach and have some accountability buddies, and I've successfully, I think it's September, it was 12 months of consistently working out. And here's one of the lessons that I learned. If I can just get up and get to the gym, it sort of transformed my entire day. When things get hard for me, one thing that I've realized is that I've been able to adjust my mindset on the thing that's considered hard. Because what I've done is that if I can just make it to the gym and get to that treadmill be whipping my tail, right? It's like the first 10 minutes of cardio. But if I can do cardio and run or the Stairmaster or ride the bike, that now becomes the hardest thing of my day. So what's the lesson that's learned? The lesson that's learned for me is that it takes mental toughness to press through the hard times. And I always encourage people like, hey, if anything, work out, go to the gym. It's something about, for me, just working out causes everything else to be a little bit easier. All right. So that's one of the lessons that I've learned. So what is it for you? Right? What lessons did you learn in 2023? Maybe you learned some lessons from your lows. Maybe you learned some lessons from your likes. But what lessons did you learn? All right. So we got our lows. We have our likes. We have our lessons that we've learned. And the fourth thing is what happened in 2023 that you can lean in on. You see, I'm leaning towards you. Like, this is things that you can lean in on. For example, maybe you're a manager, right? Maybe as a professor or teacher, maybe there was a student or a person on your team that you saw has some great potential. And you realize in 2023 how to have conversations with that person to get the best results out of that person, right? So maybe now you can lean in on being a better communicator with being a better communicator as a leader, being a better communicator as a teacher, and lean in on that. Maybe in 2023 you realize that if you study every single day, even if you don't have the class, that's one of the tips that I teach, like study every single day, even if you don't have the class that day. What if you take the time now to lean in on that strategy? Or maybe you learn the 50-50 note-taking strategy, where you take your notes on one half of the paper and then you create your study notes in the other half of the paper, and you've seen how doing the 50-50 note-taking strategy caused you to get better grades in school. If that's the case for you, then I want you to lean in on that. All right? So write down the things that went well for you that you can lean in on to now do for this new year. Yeah, like if it worked last year, let's get better at that and now lean into that for the next year. All right, so we have our lows, we have our likes, we have our lessons learned, we have the things that we want to lean in on, and then fifthly, what things can you leverage? Yeah, what things can you leverage, right? So maybe this year, maybe in your finances, you found that, every single month you was able to put some money aside, right? Maybe we can build leverage by saying, I'm disciplined at putting money aside. What if I add an extra $10, $20, $100 to that and now leverage that towards something else? Or maybe you made the honor roll this year, or maybe you you won a certificate or something this year. How can you take the honor roll or that certificate to leverage that to win another award, to win another scholarship? Or maybe this year you received a promotion, or you received an award as a professor or an employee. Can you now leverage that to get a higher promotion, right? Like, what can you do to leverage some of the good things in 2023 to go into 2024? Now, one of the things that I was able to leverage, because I was able to land an international speaking gig, I was now able to leverage that into 8 other international speaking gigs. Or now, one of the things that I love doing was having monthly workshops. Now I've been able to leverage my monthly workshops into a monthly community group of people that I'm mentoring. Listen, if you're going to have an awesome next year, 2024, or whenever you're watching this video, you want to leverage the good things that came out of 2023 or the year that you're watching this video. All right, so here's how you come out of one year and you go into the next year. Number one, take time to really think about your lows and your losses. Number two, take time to consider your likes. What are the things that you liked about the year? Write those things down. Think about the lessons that you learned. Number three. And number four, I want you to begin to lean in on the things that worked. And then fifthly, begin to leverage the things that worked in 2023 or this current year. And as you go into the next year, leverage those things. Build momentum so you can have the greatest year you've ever had. Listen, I just want to thank you so much for rocking with me this last year. And I'm super duper excited about the next year that we're about to go into. Like I said before, it's always a blessing, it's always a win. Every single day you wake up, every single day you're able to move throughout the day, that's a win. Hey, let's make 2024, let's make this upcoming year the best year we've ever had. Of course, I'm Kantis Simmons, the coolest guy with 7.25 fingers. And thank you so much for watching this video, and happy New Year.